by politicians, usually on the right. Not really a true metaphor, is it? What would be a true metaphor that we could use now that would change this?
We're all in the same boat. That would be the metaphor. And that's the moral, the moral message that America would send by adopting health care as a human need to which everybody should have access. The moral message would be that we are in this together, that we care about each other. All of us who have means will give up something in order to make sure that everybody has health care. I don't want to live in a country where I'm on a hospital floor getting an operation that costs $25,000 and 2 floors above me somebody's being denied that same surgery because he or she has no money. What kind of civilization is that? What kind of moral order is that? It's not. It's an order where money, as you said earlier, some things money doesn't buy. It won't buy good public libraries. It won't buy good public schools. It won't buy good public, and some things do not have a price tag on them. They have a value system attached to them. And health care for everyone, universal health care for every citizen, irrespective of your resources, is representative of a deeply moral society. And what do I mean by moral? A society that cares for the other. That's what makes us.
But can we go backwards? Can we get back to a society where we get the money out of the media, get it out of war, get it out of prisons, as it used to be for our first couple of 100 years?
Well, I don't think we'll ever get the money out of it, but that's what laws are for and movements are for, to make bad people do good things. And so we can pass laws providing universal health care, and people who don't like it will nonetheless pay for it, and one day they'll be glad of it because it will make us a better...
Absolutely. I don't think the people understand this issue well enough to really render an opinion. I think this president should just drag them along. That's what President Bush would have done. I think he had horrible ideas, but he didn't really care what the people thought.
I think there's a fear that Barack Obama will become the Grover Cleveland of this era. Grover Cleveland was a good man, but he became a conservative Democratic president because he didn't fight the interest. Teddy Roosevelt came up. People have been saying, well, Obama should be Franklin Roosevelt. No, I'd much rather see Barack Obama be Theodore Roosevelt. Theodore Roosevelt loved to fight.
Right.
He came into office and railed against the malefactors of great wealth.
Right.
He was glad to take them on, take on the barons and the tycoons, and people responded to him. I think if Obama fought instead of finessed so much, if he stood up and declared for what is really the right thing to do and what is really needed, instead of negotiating the corners away, instead of talking about bending the curve and talking about actuarial rates, if he would stand up and say, we need this because we're a decent country, I think it would change the atmosphere. In the last few weeks, the right wing has been winning the debate. How he lost control of the narrative, I don't understand. Well, yes, I do. He didn't find the right metaphors, as you were just saying. And he didn't speak in simple, powerful, moral language. He was speaking like a policy wonk to the world of Washington, not to a country of people who are hurting, where 47,000 million don't have insurance. Let him be a leader like that, summon the language and send it marching in the purpose of a mission like that, and he'll turn this around. But the right wing has been, in the last few days, the last few weeks, carrying the argument, putting the Democrats on the defensive. Here's the party that lost, and the conservative movement that was discredited over the last 8 years by the delays and the Ralph Reeds and the Abramoffs. They're setting the agenda for a Democratic Party that controls the White House, the Senate, and the House. Something wrong in that. And I think it's because too many Democrats have had their spine surgically removed.
And what do you think about his policy in Afghanistan? You were around for the Vietnam debates and the escalation. It may have been why you left that White House.
I think it would be a tragedy beyond description for this young, bright, exciting president to be drawn into an endless war in the same way that the last young, bright, exciting president was intervened in Vietnam. I was there when Kennedy chose to send advisors to Vietnam. Then I was there when Johnson escalated. They both acted from noble intentions. Actually, they did. They wanted to stop communism in Asia, and they wanted to spread democracy. But the advisors became bombers, and the bombers became ground troops, and pretty soon a campaign to contain communism became a regional crusade. And 12 years later, billions of dollars later, millions of lives later, including 660,000 American troops, we lost. We lost because the United States is not good at that sort of thing. Here Obama has 68,000 troops there. The generals are asking for another 20, maybe 30,000 troops. And when I saw that request the other day, saying that what we have there are not enough, I remembered a dream I had a year or so ago, right before Obama came into office. And they were talking about escalating in Vietnam. I was back in the cabinet room of the White House, sitting behind the president. He was talking to his military advisors. They were spread out around the table there. This is in the dream, seriously. And so he asked the military advisors and his national security advisors, how many troops should I send? 40,000? And a voice from back there said, not enough. 80,000? A voice from over here said, not enough. 120,000? And a voice from over there said, not enough. The military and the hawks in the administration will always say, not enough. And Obama has to say enough, or he's going to be drawn in two. Now, we've changed the mission. You know, we went there to capture Osama bin Laden. Bush did a good thing there. We didn't capture him. 8 years later, he's still at large. Now they've shifted the mission of the troops there to protect the villages of Afghanistan. 100,000 American troops can't protect the villages of Afghanistan. And now they say we're going to be there to build a nation. You know, we're not good at building other nations. We're hardly good at building our nation. Look what's happening to our... if you're an Afghani and you look up and see Arnold Schwarzenegger and the legislature from Sacramento coming to build your nation, you're going to run, right? You're going to put up a no trespassing sign. I mean, we need to come home.
There are so many parallels, I hate to say it, between great empires that were on their decline and what's going on with this country right now. A sort of internal malaise, what we are debt-wise, how much money we owe the world, how much red ink is piling up. Do you think we're still a great nation?
We are a very crippled giant suffering from self-inflicted wounds that if we do not treat and heal will in fact bring us to our knees and ultimately to our doom. I really do believe it. And I don't want that to happen. I have 5 grandchildren. Grandchildren are great for reviving an old man's fervor about the future. You know, there are moments when you just want to say, no, we're heading in this direction. But you look at these grandchildren, it's like Obama coming into office. They inherited this mess that we left for them. I owe them an apology because my generation has done such a poor job with their future and their fate. We can't say, though, it's over. We can't. What makes us great, we're not smarter than other people. We're not more intelligent than other people. We're not wiser than other people. We have that First Amendment, that self-correcting faculty that enables people like this to climb up on the deck of the ship and grab the captain by the arm and say, that's an iceberg out there. It's that self-correcting faculty. We wait so long to do anything. How long did it take us? 250 years to free the slaves. Then it took another 100 years after a bloody civil war before the freed slaves got their true citizenship.
Right.
How long did it take us for women to get the right to vote? We wait a long time until almost the ship has sunk. And the rivets of the ship of state, I think, are in fragile shape right now and a collapse. If China recalled its debt, I think those rivets might pop as they do on the hull of a ship. We're close to losing the moral, financial, and economic muscle and the wisdom that makes a huge nation a great nation. But it's never too late. If people like this realize that they can get... What Obama needs right now is a movement of progressives who say to him, we voted for an end to the war in Iraq. We voted for health care for everyone. We voted to put our house in order, and we want you to do it. And that's what it would take.
Okay. So, this week and last week, this whole month, there's been a lot of nostalgia about the 60s. It was the 40th anniversary of Woodstock. I noticed the Beatles are once again on the cover of the Rolling Stone.
Leonard Cohen is back.
Leonard Cohen was never really there for me. But, okay. But I'm glad he's back. You were there. I know you famously once said that you did not realize that John Kennedy was fooling around when you were in the White House then, which is astounding because nobody could escape that sort of scrutiny nowadays. You've been very dignified about not gossiping about that era. Why don't you end that right now? Give us something about the 60s and the Kennedy-Johnson White Houses. That would be just a great piece of...
I wish I could add to the lore and the knowledge and the information that's come out. I can't. I mean, I was surprised at one revelation after another. I truly was, because it is, Freud said each of us experiences our own present naively, and I think that's true. I was very much an idealist. I was involved in the campaign of 1960, but I wanted to